Okay, so let me wish again good evening, good morning, and good afternoon for some of you who joined, those different time zones. Now, we are recording this session because there are a lot of requests that people are in different time zones and office meetings, so they have requested to record this session and upload. So this session will be recorded and be on the YouTube in a couple of days from now on our PremierAgile YouTube channel, right? Okay, so welcome to the Premier Wednesday, a never before platform, a never before session that we are doing for the first time. This is about how to prepare for a Scrum Master interview. And I hope this will be fruitful, valuable to all of us here, hopefully. Okay, and a little introduction about myself. Of course, I'm very, very glad to have met many of you in the past CSM, CSP workshops, online, in person, all of those places, and other Premier Wednesday events. Some of you have been very, very regular to our events, the community events that we organize. So thank you for joining those. Thank you for coming back again. So my name is, once again, Suresh Konduru. Of course, not a trainer, but also several other areas of expertise. And I worked several places in the globe, largely in the United States, and of course, several cities in India and Europe and a lot of places pretty much, right? So in my experience, I've been part of several large and small agile transformations at organization level and at team levels, and gathered a lot of perspectives, met several great, awesome team members like you, and have been learned in the journey. So not that every time we were successful. Sometimes, you fail because you're trying something new, something disruptive that nobody else has tried before. And that is how we learn faster rather than only, trying to go with the regular stuff. We want to try something more disruptive, more productive, more innovative. And that is where we might meet with failure at times, isn't it? As a Scrum Master, you are helping teams to succeed, fail fast, learn faster, succeed faster, right? Okay, so with that little background, what we'll do is I have invited my team member, Preeti, to just take us over a little bit about PremierAgile, and then we will deep dive into the actual agenda that we have for today. Okay, so Preeti, please help.
Thank you, Suresh. Hello, everyone. A very good evening, good morning, and good afternoon. This is Preeti from PremierAgile, and I'm glad to welcome you all for our 50th milestone episode, which is Premier Wednesday event on the most awaited topic, that is how to prepare for a Scrum Master interview by our CEO and host, Mr. Suresh Konduru, who is the founder of PremierAgile, which is one of the top 10 Agile consulting firms in the world, founded in the year 2018. I would like to share some insights with you about PremierAgile as a company by walking through our website. I'm just sharing the screen right now. Just give me a second. I hope every one of you can see my screen right now.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Thank you so much for confirming. So we have arrived at our website, that is www.premieragile.com, and we are glad to state that we have trained over 20,000 students in 35 countries and conducted over 1,000 seminars, all of which were 100% successful. We at PremierAgile give world-class training experiences with brain science learning by delivering classes with zero PowerPoint presentations, as some of you would have already experienced. So as a result, we are pleased to announce that our USP is a 5-star rating on Google. So several media outlets have recognized PremierAgile as the best Scrum and Agile consulting organization in the world over the last couple of years. I would like to play a short video of our achievements.
Preeti, is there a video?
I'm sorry, you can't hear.
You can't hear the audio. So when you just stop the screen share, and when you share it, see if the audio is shared already. So just kindly stop the screen share. When you share, there is a audio, say share audio check button at the left bottom side.
Okay. Yeah. Just give me a second. Sorry for that.
No problem.
thank you so much for watching the same. And we are excited to announce that we have many more to add on into our bucket. And yeah, when it comes to our certifications, we are honored to be affiliated with the Scrum Alliance and the Scale Agile organizations. And under the Scrum Alliance body, we do have certifications like Certified Scrum Master, Certified Scrum Product Owner, as well as advanced courses like Advanced Certified Scrum Master and the Advanced Certified Scrum Product Owner. Wherein under Scale Agile, we do have Leading Safe, Safe Scrum Master, and Safe POPM. In fact, on the combo courses, we are now providing up to INR 22,000 discount. And to all of you, I have a good news. On the weekend of October 8th and 9th, PremierAgile is offering an in-person CSM class in Hyderabad at the venue, which is Lemon Tree. Sorry, this is the one. The venue is at the Lemon Tree, and followed by an in-person class for CSPO in Bangalore for October 15th and 16th. I would request you to please get in touch with us if you have any references. And yeah, we do offer reference bonus as well. Right. So with years of hands-on agile transformation expertise in Fortune 500 companies around the world, we also offer customized corporate training. Along with the training, we also offer options for ongoing learning such as Premier Wednesdays, Ask Mentoring sessions, quizzes, learning shorts, and other resources. So on our website, you can find under the tab resources. So let me share a few insights about the same. So we host free webinars on a variety of topics with speakers from various locations sharing their perspectives. On Wednesdays, this usually occurs, hence the name Premier Wednesday. We'll be hosting a webinar on October 12th from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. on the topic Craft Your Career by Mr. Suresh, who is our Agile coach and certified Scrum trainer. So one can earn 2 SUs by participating in the above webinar. All you need to do is click on Register Now button. And when it comes to professional mentoring, we have given it the name Ask Mentoring, which can be an individual or a group session. You'll be able to get answers to your questions, learn about the most recent certifications, and receive professional advice. All you need to do is simply fill out this form, and you can register for yourself by clicking on the Submit button. We provide self-quizzes as a part of free learning. A Scrum Master, a Product Owner, Product Manager, Agile Coach, Safe Transformation Leader, or simply any Agile team member can benefit from these. Right. Our experts have put together a collection of short videos to help you learn about Agile, Scrum, product ownership, and scaling. So every Wednesday, we do post one video on social media, which we have listed below for your convenience. As an intention to assist our PremierAgile class participants, we have curated templates like product backlog, sprint backlog, user story mapping, and many more to implement Scrum. This can be tweaked to fit in the needs of your company. So there are more than 100 non-IT case studies wherein Scrum can be used. Our website will provide you with a wealth of information on these topics. We have approximately 200 blogs on our website that are updated every week, so you can browse them based on your requirement. And yeah, our social media channels include LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram by the name PremierAgile. I would request you to please follow our social media channels so that you may learn and get information. And please do contact us on our hotline numbers, that is 9154224453 or 707-552-4453 if you have any if you require any further support, or if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact us. We are just a phone call and email away. And thank you so much for the opportunity, for allowing me the opportunity to show you around our website and for choosing PremierAgile. And yeah, I would request you to please subscribe to our newsletters by mentioning your email address over here and clicking onto the subscribe button. Thank you so much, guys, for the time. And thank you so much, Suresh. Over to you.
Thank you. Okay, so that's in brief about who we are at PremierAgile, and a lot of you have already been with us for a long time. Thank you for that, traveling on the journey with us. So let's deep dive. For today, the agenda is going to be for about 90 to 100 minutes. We're going to discuss on the topic, and then of course there will be loads and loads of questions I'm expecting. You should in fact ask questions, and then we will we'll conclude at 9 p.m. sharp India time. Right now, Premier Wednesday as a platform has been there as much as PremierAgile has been there, because our passion is for the community to give something, contribute back to the community, and we have been doing these events for a long time, and this is our 50th event. So let's get going. But before let us agree on certain things. Sure. So let us agree on how we are going to do this session. How? Meaning, what are some of those basic do's and don'ts for us today? Any suggestions? Anyone?
Firstly, congratulations on Golden Jubilee.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Mostly, coming from non-IT field, we are not sure about culture, because different industries have different cultures. So the place where I go, I can't walk up to my manager or some other person.
So Kadir, sorry to cut you short.
Yeah.
So we will get to your questions. The culture aspect, very, very important. So my question is about the session today. How we are going to do this? For example, I will say we will have a time limit for a time boxing, right? Likewise, do we have any such suggestions is what I'm asking. This is going to be our agreement for all of us.
Yeah, we should be using the parking lot.
Sure. So to share my screen here. Okay, this is going to be our agreement for the next 90 minutes or so. So we will definitely time box it. So we have certain group discussions, certain big group discussions, certain smaller room conversations. So we will time box them, right? Okay. Somebody was saying something.
Raise hands before asking questions so that you can call out our names.
Sure. This is fantastic. So whenever anyone has a question, you should raise your hand. If you have observed, there is a Zoom hand. There is a reaction, right? So when you click reaction, you will see raise hand. So please raise your hand and we will go in that same order. And I will try to ensure all questions are answered before we conclude the session. If something is pending, obviously I'll get back to you with an answer, or maybe we can see how we can facilitate that answer, right? Okay, raising hand. Anything else? Can I suggest something?
Yeah.
Whoever is asking the question, can you turn on the video? I mean, I'm not asking all 85 folks here to turn on the video. Obviously, that may or may not be possible given your background, today being a working day. If it's a class, we will keep the video on. But otherwise, video is not mandatory for this session. But in case you have a question, can you please turn on the video? So that I know I'm talking to a real person.
Yes.
Yep. Okay. Video on for questions. Anything else?
Role play sessions, probably.
Sorry, what is that?
Role playing sessions.
Role playing sessions.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, is that a suggestion, or I mean, you're suggesting that we would practice some role play in this class?
Yes.
Okay. Now that is a little difficult because given a very, very short time and given the number of people we are in this room, it's going to be difficult a little bit, right? But we will definitely discuss in terms of questions that you have from a specific role perspective, and hopefully that will help. Because in a class, we do a lot of role plays, but in this webinar, we are already touching 90. So I think it's going to be a little difficult. Okay, so with this, sorry, go ahead.
Important information or links in chat.
Links in chats. Okay, this is super. So any important information, any links that we come across as a PremierAgile team, we are going to share some links. Anyone else find something useful, valuable, please keep sharing those links. Any feedback, anything of that sort, please work through the chat. Okay. Okay, so with that background, let us get started. And my first question to start with all of you is, we will spend a few minutes.
What are the do? These are the do's. What are the don'ts?
Oh, what are the don'ts? That's a good question. Do you have any suggestion? What are the don'ts?
Don't cut in between when they are speaking.
Don't don't interrupt.
Yeah.
Right?
Respectful.
Don't interrupt. Be respectful. Okay.
Mute only if required.
Sorry, what is that?
Unmute only if required.
Unmute if only required. Okay, so I'll say be on mute unless you want to speak. Unless speaking. Yeah, that's a good idea. No background noise. That way we are also not disrupting others, right? Okay, this is good.
Don't ask irrelevant questions to the topic.
Okay, only relevant questions. I will say ask only relevant questions. Yeah, makes a lot of sense, right? Okay, then
I have a suggestion.
please.
Yeah, actually we go like asking many questions in the session. So it's better we park the questions and focus more on the class, what you are saying, and just get your understanding completely, not implementing your questions immediately into our experience. So maybe we park the questions at the end of the session. That gives us more feel about the session.
Sure, definitely. But unfortunately, my sessions are always like discussion oriented. I don't have a PowerPoint slide also. Not even a single slide I have. Okay, this is how my classroom sessions are also. I work with 0 PowerPoint sessions because most of them are discussion based. So questions are always okay as long as they're relevant. But then I'll also see how is the content moving, and then accordingly we'll take questions. But that's a very, very good suggestion. Don't disrupt too much. But if you have a question, just raise it. Right? Perfect. And one of the don'ts that our friend was asking, I would suggest this: no arguments, please. The reason is, we are in our organization, we are doing Scrum like this. That's not necessarily the only way or the right way. There can be a better way of doing Scrum in a different organization. So we are always open to learn, right? Okay, so with that little background, let us get started. And my next question to all of you is very, very basic question that you get in interviews. Who is a Scrum Master? Can anyone help? Who is a Scrum Master?
Scrum Master is the one who removes the impediments of the team and discusses with the product owner and get the things ready for the team.
Okay, so Scrum Master is the person who removes impediments.
He's a servant leader.
Liaison among the cross-functional team.
Sure.
Team coach.
So I'm just writing some of the text here. So Scrum Master is the one who removes impediments.
Facilitates the meetings.
A facilitator.
Team
Servant
coach.
leader.
A motivator.
A coach. Motivates the teams.
The Scrum Master who teach the Scrum to the team and the organization.
Teach Scrum. Great. Teach Scrum to the organization. Okay, now this is fantastic.
Scrum basically.
Responsible for making a self-organizing team.
Making a self-organizing or creating that
cross-function,
managing teams, right?
Servant leader.
Okay, a Scrum Master uses a servant leadership as a way, as a style. Okay, great. Any other suggestions, people? Looks like the Scrum Master is doing a lot of things, isn't it? Anything else?
Good communicator.
Definitely, a good communicator.
Resolve conflict.
Oh yes, resolves team conflicts, or I'll write reduces team conflicts.
Provide safe environment for the team, or like reducing the external factors which might impact the team.
Okay, provides a safe environment. I'll write here.
Manages Scrum framework.
Manages the
Scrum framework.
Scrum framework.
Yeah.
Okay. More than managers, I would probably say, this thing. Teach us how to do Scrum. What are the tones for the team as well as for the organization? Okay.
Removes distraction and ensures team is focused on goals.
Sure. Removes distractions. This is a very, very umbrella term, reducing conflicts across the team members or outside the team so that distractions are minimized.
Maintaining the artifacts for the Scrum, right? Like a Jira tool and all for the team and metrics.
That's not necessarily a Scrum Master's job. Scrum Master
It's
is
team
not
effort, yeah.
Scrum. This is an add-on job, definitely add-on responsibility, maintaining the tools, but it's not necessarily only Scrum Master needs to do it. Anyone can do it, right? Okay, so what we are saying essentially here is a Scrum Master is a person who is accountable to create a self-managing team. Somebody who can, a team which can manage themselves. Eventually, they can make some decisions by themselves, more independent teams, right? And somebody used the term cross-functional. Yes, the Scrum Master is supposed to create cross-functional teams where the team has all the skills to move forward, to build the product or the system or whatever, the hardware, the software themselves without depending on other teams. So that is what a cross-functional team is, right? Yes, a Scrum Master is a facilitator. A Scrum Master is a coach. And a Scrum Master is somebody who is motivating the teams always. You see, some of these different responsibilities are there for the Scrum Master as per the Scrum Guide. The latest Scrum framework, which is there as per the Scrum Guide 2020 version, right? Now, Scrum Master also instills Scrum values. Anyone remembers? What are the Scrum values?
Confidence.
Respectness.
Courage.
Focus.
Respect.
Focus. Commitment.
Openness, commitment.
Open to change.
Okay, I heard focus.
Openness.
Courage and
Openness.
yeah.
Commitment.
Respect.
Okay, respect.
Commitment.
Commitment.
And courage.
So these are the 5 basic Scrum values. When did you hear first time about these values? Anyone? When did you hear first time about these values?
In the training
Scrum Guide.
itself.
In Scrum Guide?
Yep.
Are we saying Scrum Guide told us about what is focus, what is respect, and so on? That was
childhood.
That was
childhood.
So somebody said childhood. Is that so?
Yes.
So you're
The
saying,
terminology is what we heard is from the childhood, but these are the values that we heard from Scrum Guide.
so nobody ever, told us about commitment or respect before Scrum Guide, is it?
Learned it from the parents, is what you said.
Exactly. So Scrum values are not something Scrum is teaching us. Come on, these are basic core human values. These are some things which we all knew before, maybe in school, maybe at home. So Scrum is actually leveraging some of those basic Scrum values, basic life values. So you should all start thinking that, yeah, I knew this. I was actually practicing this. I was told to how to focus on my whatever work, studies that we are doing, how to respect other cultures. So Scrum Master instills these values in the Scrum teams. And that starts with me. As a Scrum Master, I should start practicing these values. I should focus. I should be more open for feedback. I should start respecting people and not really disrespect their cultures or their improvement areas or their failures, right? So anything starts with me, not them. It's not like they don't have values, so I cannot really help them. I cannot work with them, right? So do I have those values? I think that is a basic question everyone should ask themselves. What is courage? Maybe a little 2 minutes on that and then we'll move forward. Anyone? Can you tell me what is courage in a Scrum context?
The courage to say no.
Sorry?
The courage to say no.
Courage to say no. Okay. Very good.
Courage to try different.
To take a decision.
Take a decision.
Accept any challenge.
Accept challenges.
Bring out the impediments without fear of consequence, right?
Bring out the impediments without the fear of failure.
Failure.
Thank you. Very
Courage
good.
courage to stop something, if there is a pressure from leadership team or some other team, courage to stop if it affects the sprint.
Courage
Make
to
sure.
say no, courage to intervene and say, hey,
Courage to
this is
say.
affecting the team's quality or the productivity. Sure.
Courage to accept mistakes.
Courage to accept mistakes. This is indeed very good. And that's not very easy, isn't it? So accepting mistakes, saying sorry to your team members who are probably junior a lot of times is not an easy task. You should have that conviction to say, hey, sorry, I was thinking something else, but it didn't happen. Because we all have that whole wall around us built. What is that wall called?
Ego.
Thank you for saying that, Venkat. So there is this wall called ego. A lot of times it is coming in between us and the team members or the customers, and we are not ready to just let it go. So ego, let it go, first of all, right? And be open more for feedback, for suggestions from your team members. Because unless you try something new, there is no way you're getting to know. So be more experimental at times. Courage to try new things, right? So somebody is saying, Manik, thank you. Courage to try new things. Courage to do the right thing. Courage to say no doesn't mean you are saying no every time. You're also trying to give them a plan B. Hey, you know what? Plan A doesn't work. We cannot do it for whatever reasons, but this is our plan B. Now you tell us which works well for you. Let us prioritize. So jointly, you're also prioritizing the customer needs along with the person called product owner in a Scrum team. Right? A product owner is a person who is prioritizing work. As a Scrum Master, you're helping them do their job better. And at times, as a Scrum Master, you need to say no. As a team member, as a developer, as a product owner, you probably have to say no at times in the best interest of that whole context or the product that we are building. Right? So be the change in you that you want to see. It's not about changing people. It's not about transforming people. First of all, the transformation should start from within. Right. Okay. Anyway, so that's a very, very brief about Scrum Master, but let us get going. I'm assuming many of you have been working in Scrum or at least attended a certified Scrum Master workshop or any other Scrum Master course in your organization. So hopefully you're already introduced to who a Scrum Master is, right? If not, at least these last few minutes probably could help you a little bit about who a Scrum Master is, hopefully, right? But let us get going to the next topic before we even further open up about interviews and all that stuff, how to prepare and those things. A little bit about Scrum Master interviews. Has anyone attended a Scrum Master interview in the recent past? Okay, one on the chat, one hand on the Zoom. Just two of you. 3. Okay, 4 plus 1, 5, 6. 5 on the Zoom and 1 on the chat. 6, 7. Slowly opening up. Okay, great. So a lot of you have attended a Scrum Master interview in the recent past, but of course, Scrum Master as a skill is one of the hot skills in the industry today. And as per the, one of the recent study by the World Economic Forum, a Scrum Master as a 40% of product ownership or product development teams use Scrum. And there is a huge need for Scrum Master, huge need for a product owner. So people should understand Scrum, before they are part of such a product development initiatives. And there is a growth expected of about 40% growth over the next few years. That is how it is looking at, right? And in certain economies like India, it is still just a very, very new, I wouldn't say new, but it's been there for a few years already, 15, 20 maybe. But then the catch up, the rate at which it is adopted is very, very less. So adoption still has a long way to go. So what that means is Scrum Master as a career is a very, very good option. And for some of you who are wondering, hey, you know what, I never had experience on Scrum. Can I be a Scrum Master? A simple answer is yes. If you're asking me, I've never been into an IT organization, can I become a Scrum Master? The answer is yes. Never been part of a team, I'm an independent contributor, individual contributor, can I become a Scrum Master? The answer is yes. The answers are yes. If you want to become a Scrum Master, obviously anyone can. Of course, with the right focus, with the right mindset, with the right, maybe a mentorship, with the right attitude to learn on a continuous basis, and with the right attitude to be open for feedback. As long as that is cultivated, I think becoming a Scrum Master is definitely possible. I'm not saying it is easy. No, I'm saying it is possible, right? For sure. Now, I have seen on an average, the salaries have really gone up for Scrum Master. That's a good news that I can see. And I mean, if I look at India as a geography, the salaries are in Indian currency, it's somewhere between 8 and 25 per annum. You know what I'm talking about, right? And on an average, it is around 15 as per the survey, recent survey in 2022. And in the United States, the range of salaries is somewhere between 90K and 150K. I mean, one of my friends was recently asking to give some referrals, and he said our company is going to pay about 150K per annum in US, right? So I think the ask is definitely there, the demand is there, just that you need to get to the right place, right time, and the right set of preparation, right? So let's get to this question. If you are preparing for a Scrum Master interview, what are some of those basic tips or tricks? Let us just try to discuss that. And then we'll go further deeper into, okay, no, this is the question I got. Now, how should I answer and things like that? We are getting into more and more specifics of that, right? Okay. So for those people who have gone for a Scrum Master interview in the recent past, can you tell us one tip that could be helpful for all of us? I'm sure it is going to be useful for Karan because he has an upcoming interview very soon. Karan, all the best for you. Okay. Praful and Dinesh, you have your hands up. Do you want to say something? Do you have a trick to be shared with us? Or it was a hand from the previous question?
It was a hand from the previous question, but yeah, still I like to say.
Sure.
So I don't know how to remove that.
I will lower down your hand. No problem. Please continue.
I would.
Go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay. I attended a couple of interviews for Scrum Master, and one thing definitely help us is like, whenever we give interview, and just remember all the questions asked in the interview, or you can do a voice record on your laptop or on your system, so that you can listen to those questions after the interview and make a note of all those questions when asked in the interview, so that you can better prepare for the next time if the first time you're not selected or something went wrong.
Okay, excellent. So the idea is make a note of the questions or do a voice recording or whatever that works well, and then you can prepare better for the subsequent.
If I may.
Yes, sir, please.
Okay, from my perspective, what I would want to share is be thorough with all the Agile principles, Scrum principles, artifacts across all, not only in the workshop, but I mean in Google, if we search about Scrum real life examples or any scenarios, whatever, we get a lot of data. One can prepare for the interviews and but be thorough and with the basics of Scrum, Agile, artifacts of Scrum, and every details of Scrum, whatever is taught in the workshop, some Scrum Master certification workshop.
Sure.
Take a couple of examples wherever you get, as we saw in the PremierAgile website, there are a lot of data, so you can prepare yourself seeing the videos, and definitely that would help. And but basics should be thorough, whatever we need to know.
Very good. Praful,
So,
thank you.
yeah, Suresh.
Saying that.
Yeah, Avinash here.
Just let me repeat what Praful said. So Praful, thanks for saying that. Yes, there's a lot of information on our website, which is built over the last few years. And this could be useful for all of you. So Ishwari, just give us our website URL, simple URL of the website, and a URL of our blogs. We have about 250 blogs on our website written by real practitioners and reviewed. So I'm sure all of you will get benefited. So Ishwari, please provide the website as well as the blogs section. And the one point that Praful mentioned is there are a lot of learning videos on our website. These are called learning shorts. So these are about 5 minutes videos available on our website. For example, what are the different typical characteristics of a Scrum Master? What are some of those do's and don'ts of Scrum Master? So I think all of you should get benefited with these in terms of watching the videos, because preparation will start only with you, right? Anyone can help you to some extent, but beyond that, it is all your game. So if you want to play the game well, you need to do the next practice in cricket or any other practice in any sport for that matter by yourself. So you should take advantage of all those resources available on the internet, on our website especially. And, you should definitely keep on reading and keep watching these things and keep practicing a lot of stuff. That's a very, very good suggestion, Praful.
Yes, Suresh. And one more too, if I may add, Suresh.
Sure.
And apart from this post CSM certification, there will be workshops which are conducted across organizations.
Sure.
If one can attend that, I think they'll get different perspectives from different organizations, because experienced people from other organizations do attend that workshop, and they'll share their experiences. And I think one can learn more there live during those workshops as well, post completing the certification.
Very good. Very good.
I think that would help. I think. Yeah.
Very good. So what I understood is CSM is not the destination. CSM, Certified Scrum Master workshop, that most of you would have attended, is only a starting point. Is a starting point in your journey. But the journey is long, journey is painful and fruitful. And to make it so, one has to continue that learning, either some workshops in your organizations or LinkedIn learning, Udemy learning, YouTube learning, PremierWednesday events. So all these are kind of several touch points in your journey, and you should travel that journey. It's not like I did CSM today and then I should get a job next week. No, it's not practical, right? So be prepared with all these, things, and just continue to learn, right? And we'll wait for a couple of other suggestions. I think Makaran has his hand up.
Yes.
And then Ravindranath, and after Ravindranath, we will get to the more detailed conversation. We know we are talking about experiences here, but we'll get to more details and then we'll hear from others. Yes, sir, Makaran, your suggestion.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, according to my experience, most part of the Scrum Master interview revolves around the Scrum Guide. So, if you are thorough with the Scrum Guide, so you have covered 50% of the interview. That is what I have experienced.
Very good, very good. So Scrum Guide 2020 version is going to be the Bible for your interview, for your Scrum implementation, for your CSM class, for your conversations with customers. So I request all of you to print the Scrum Guide, not just download a copy, but try to print it and keep it on your desk and read it once in a while. I read Scrum Guide even today at least once a week. And I've been doing that for the last several years. So if not fully, at least 2-3 pages. Whenever I was thinking about a topic or teaching a topic, I make sure I read the Scrum Guide. And I felt that's a good habit, and I heard from others as well. So keep reading Scrum Guide even in bits and pieces once in a while, and that will also make you. And then each statement is like $1 million statement in the Scrum Guide. I mean, you read it today, but next week you read it, you have a better perspective. It is written so beautifully. And I hope all of you know Scrum Guide is only how many pages?
Actually, it's 16 pages if you exclude the index and everything.
It was, but now it is
14, I think.
14, 1/4. That's right. And then if you exclude that cover page and thank you, it is going to be much lesser, 12 pages maybe. It takes about an hour to read, but to understand that it takes a long time. So keep reading it once in a while. At least you should have a habit of reading it once a month, if not a week. Right. But that's a very, very good suggestion. Thank you so much, Makarand. Okay, we'll hear from Ravindranath K.
Hi, Suresh. Thanks for giving me opportunity. First, before that, I would like to give a big, say big thanks to you. So since I learned all the Scrum stuff from your office. So after that, my Scrum Master then was going smooth. And now I would like to share a couple of points where I get from interview. So here in our industry, the Scrum Master interview should two ways. One thing, it will go with a pure Scrum guide. The other thing is how exactly we are implementing the Scrum in our organization. So there is a slight difference in that. Why? Because following exact Scrum guide is one path, and implementing our own ideology into the Scrum and reaching the organization goal is a different perspective. So in this, we have to segregate or clearly identify what are the additional responsibilities we are doing for an organization as a Scrum Master. Why? Because as a Scrum Master, we will follow the facilitation and all other coaching and mentorship for the Scrum team. So, and helping the product owner and guiding the business analyst, and all the Scrum team should be stand in one place and understand the requirements. So, the all facilitation should be done from the Scrum Master. Apart from that, with an organization perspective, organization targets, we will run into a couple of additional responsibilities like providing the metrics and taking some responsibility on the deliverables and following up and creating all the project plans for. So these points we have to clearly segregate, and we can make a clear step. Okay, so if someone asks, okay, what exactly we are doing as a Scrum Master. So we have to start with like, okay, where we start our day. So within a daily standard. So how we following with other cadences like sprint planning and reviews and retrospections, and when that recurring meetings were happening. So how the interruptions were happening or impediments we are receiving from the team or external stakeholders. So we have to clearly narrate ourselves what exactly we are doing, and we have to identify a couple of challenges. Why? Because every Scrum Master for sure will come across with some challenges in the form of impediments or some technical challenges between the team or some dependencies between the products or between the Scrum teams. So these are the challenges we have to clearly identify ourselves. And these all stuff, if we speak all these things, so during that discussion or interview, so obviously we can run into our own area where exactly how we done as a Scrum Master responsibilities.
Very good.
So basically, this is my experience I would like to give.
Very good, sir.
And
very good,
so
Ravindranath. Thank you. Thank you. I mean, we'll come back to you again in a little later, because we also have a lot of questions. I mean, what you said is brilliant. I think especially I like the first point where you said Scrum Guide is one thing, knowing Scrum is one thing, but the second thing is implementing it. So in an interview, I mean, I heard this from another real practitioner as well. When you respond in an interview, a good idea is give them the two views. So this is what the actual Scrum is. But this is what we have implemented and we have improvised. So for everyone's information, just to give a quick recollecting of what Scrum is not a process. Scrum is a... Anyone remember?
Framework.
Mindset.
A framework.
Methodology.
Scrum is a framework. Now, what is the beauty of a framework? A framework is something which will give you certain guidelines. And you can always improvise on those guidelines. And those guidelines or recommendations or rules were created based on culminated experience of several thousands of professionals. And that is how Scrum Guide was created. It was first time presented in 1995 in a conference, but it took them 15 years to roll out the Scrum Guide. 2010 was the first version of the Scrum Guide. So they were talking and working with different professionals and finally came up with a guidance. And then they have evolved it several versions, and 2020 is the latest version. So what we understand here is Scrum Guide is not a process. What is a process? You will have steps 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Follow that process. But Scrum is not a process. Scrum is a framework. It will give you some rules, but you can always improvise on what you think can add value in your context. So knowing Scrum Guide is one thing, but also trying to understand that from a real implementation perspective is another. Right? Now I know some of you are thinking, hey, I don't have Scrum Master experience. How can I become or attend a Scrum Master interview, right? So that could be a question for some of you. We'll get there. We are going to discuss that topic as well, right? But thank you so much, Ravindra, for that. And on those lines, I have a couple of other suggestions, right? Having those two views, what is there as per Scrum and what is a real-time view, and then what is a delta? How did you actually improvise on what, as a team, right? So that is one. Two is, in your interview, obviously confidence, blah, 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 that is a typical interview, any interview. But then don't hesitate to ask a question. I mean, when there is a scenario being explained to you, you should also ask questions if you're not very clear, right? I mean, this is also true for any interview. It's not for a Scrum Master interview. And then use real examples, real stories. Let them connect with your story, not somebody else's story. You should connect with your story. Hey, you know what? In my team, in this organization, we had a challenge and this is what it is, blah, blah, blah. And then this is how we resolved it. So connect with a story or a real-time example. If you repeat Scrum Guide in interview, obviously, everyone will know that you are actually repeating the Scrum Guide. I mean, very, very basic, isn't it? And then, as I said, Scrum is a framework. So there can be other practices you are using as part of the Scrum implementation. And that's what is a holistic implementation we are talking about, right? So talk from that holistic standpoint and don't talk just from a book standpoint, right? And then, of course, the terminology also matters, but that's not the real important stuff. But know the terms that you are using, okay? Know your terminology, know your real stories, know your case studies, right? Okay. Now, those are like a couple of things that I have to tell you. But then I have a little story to tell you. A real story is, I had one of my students. I'm not sure she joined this session today, but she joined my CSM class a few months back. And she's from a BPO. You know what is BPO, right? Business Process Outsourcing. She's from a BPO background. And I mean, I take pride in this, in her story always. So she joined a CSM class. Zero IT background. And then she did a lot of research before joining my class. She read a lot of books and she joined. And then after the class also, she was discussing, reading, researching, going for these events, learning. Then after a couple of months, she joined my class, PremierWednesday again and said, hey, you know what? I got a Scrum Master job. I felt like this is wow. So I asked her, what did you do? Then these are the exact steps she said. So I never stopped with the CSM class. I started with the CSM class and then I extended into further learning, talking to people, reading books, going for events and talking to real Scrum Masters, pigging back on their experiences, asking questions. Sometimes asking questions is the best way to learn, right? So those people who are in a non-IT background or IT background trying to shift or vice versa, I don't think there is any reason for you to be disappointed or discouraged. So people with a different backgrounds also can become great Scrum Masters as long as you have that, the 5 values that you're open for feedback and keen to learn. And you're also able to have good negotiation, good people skills. You should be a good people's person. You should be a team player, right? I mean, if you're working in a corner office and you want to say, hey, I want to become a great Scrum Master, I don't think it would happen. You should be a people's person. And in real, it's not just for the sake of it. In real, you should cultivate that kind of culture. Okay, so let's do this. I know some of you may have questions, but let us get going with a little small activity here wherein we needed more inputs from those experts who are there in this session. So I'm going to make 3 teams, right? We will do something called as a breakout rooms in Zoom. I know this will be a little interesting, at the same time, little intriguing for all of us, because not sure if you're able to access this or not. We will have 3 teams. And Ishwari is trying to get access to at least some of you in the room. So we are about 90, and each team will have a huge group, about 25, 30 people, right? Team A, Team B, Team C. That's what we are going to be, right? So give me a moment while I create these team rooms. So first team will be Team A, and then the second one is, I'm calling it as Team B. And third one is a Team C. Fourth one, only 3 teams. Right. So what we'll do is, Ishwari, please, yes, share the drive link. And I request all of you kindly not panic if you don't have access. So just check out the access to the drive. So I'm clicking on that link and I will share my screen, and I'm going to explain what needs to be done. When I click on the link, please follow my screen for a moment. When I click on the link, this is where I am. And this is PremierWednesday 050 blah, blah, blah. And you have A, B, C, right? So if you're in Team A, you'll open A. If you're in B, you'll open B. C will open C, right? And when you get to A, for example, A has a problem statement. What are the various Scrum Master interview questions? And you will go one by one. We'll not cover the entire universe. Whatever possible in the given 10 minutes, we'll do it, right? And say, for example, there is a question like, hey, how do you do estimation? Let us say. Now, don't write detailed answers. Write some keywords on how you have answered, if at all you did. If not, that's okay. We'll come back and discuss some of these things, right? So Team A, you'll open the first file. By default, a lot of you are given access, so at least somebody will have access, right? So just try that link to start with. Now, Team B will get into this. I hope all of you are still able to follow my screen. The Team B question is, how do you get Scrum Master experience without a Scrum Master job? Interesting, isn't it? A problem which is true today on the ground for many of us. So just, if at all you have any suggestions, just write these, and if at all there is a category, you will write here, if you have any. If you don't have, that's okay, just keep writing your suggestions, right? Team C, you will list down brainstorming. What are some of those resources for your continuous learning? What do you suggest for the group here? Okay. A, B, C will respectively brainstorm, open this file. At least one of you will surely have access. Check the access and start writing based on inputs coming from others. Okay.
One question I have. So
sure.
One will be jotting down all the points.
At least. Yes, of course, one will be jotting down the points. Right. Now, I would request, if at all one person can moderate the session, just say, hey, I'll be moderating or facilitating the session. You can say to yourself, to the team, and then you use a raise hand option in the group, in the team room also, right? Otherwise, it's going to be a mess. So I would set some basic ground rules like have one facilitator, have the raise hand feature. Whoever is going to talk will talk, and keep it very, very crisp, because this is going to be 10 minutes, real quick, right? And all of you should check the access. Even if one person has access, it is good enough. Let us not try to get access for all 90 people. It is going to be a nightmare given the timelines, right? So just check if at least one person has the access. That person is going to share the screen. And sharing is enabled for all of you. Sharing screen is already enabled. Just the Google Drive access you should check. If you're on an office laptop, I don't think you will have access, so kindly ignore. We can send you the file later on and you can check out the notes. Okay. I will be in the individual rooms to make sure at least one of you will have access. And if you need access, you should put your Gmail in the break on the Zoom chat. Ishwari can help you if you don't have access, right? Ishwari will help you access for some people, not the 90 people, because it's going to be a nightmare for us, right? So let us see how it works. Okay. Any questions on what are we going to do in the next quick 10 minutes in the breakout rooms? Oh, great. I haven't heard anyone asking questions, so I assume it is either crystal clear or the other end of the spectrum, which is like not at all clear, but I at least bothered to ask a question. Of course, I'm assuming positive intent.
It's clear, Suresh.
Clear, yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you for that acknowledgement. So I'm just trying to reorganize the teams a little bit. Just give me one more minute, please. Okay, almost there. Oh God, we have a lot of people today, so just taking a little bit more time. Okay, great. So we have almost everyone lined up. Great. So I'm just saying open the rooms and you will have a prompt on your screen. So please accept. Ishwari, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
So I'm making you a co-host.
Okay, sir.
So you should go across rooms and see if at least one person is able to access and edit.
Sure, sir.
If they are able to edit, then you move to the next room.
Sure, sir. Already whoever provided their mail IDs, I have provided access to them.
Okay. But just check, at least one person should be able to open and edit the thing. Okay.
Sure, sir. I'll do that, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, welcome back, everyone. I hope the last We thought 10, but I guess we got more than that, almost 15 minutes, just making sure everyone is settling down and able to access. So hopefully that was a useful conversation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
Yes. Yes.
Great. Now what we'll do is we will obviously we will debrief some of these things, but let us do a little quick reading of what the other teams have done, right? Which means we will go back into the breakout rooms again, but this time a little bit different assignment we are going to do. Okay, so this is going to be very, very quick, and this is going to be only for about, say, 7 minutes, and I will send you into these rooms, and I will also let you know the assignments. Just hold on, please. So team A was doing the interview questions earlier. We'll now get to the second topic, which is how to get the Scrum Master experience without a job, without a Scrum Master role today. And team B, you will do the topic C that was done earlier, resources for continuous learning. Team C will go to the first topic, which is various interview questions. We're just doing a little jugglery of the teams, a round robin rotation, so that you can just get into the room, just read the notes and see if you want to add anything more, any other additional information, additional sources, resources, anything like that. Just a quick glance through, and we come back in about 8 minutes, and then we will start debriefing these. Okay. Any questions? What are we doing now?
Round robin and checking, and then adding points if required.
Exactly. So the teams will be the same. A team will be the same team, but have a different topic now. So you're going to quickly read what the earlier team has written. That's all.
So existing things we need to keep as it is.
Yeah, the team composition, the members in the team are going to be the same.
No, the slides which we have changed. So whatever points other team has added, we should keep it as it is.
Keep them. Yes, keep them. If required, add more points or add more slides if you want to have more information.
Okay, sure. Okay. Thank you.
And I'll tell you what is this technique called. When we come back, we'll discuss about the technique also we are using. This is a very, very useful technique for Scrum Masters. The rooms are opened. Please join. Welcome back. I know the time is too short. I understand that, and there are a lot of useful conversations happening in the rooms. I can see those. Thank you, first of all, for joining the rooms and being very, very active, contributing, learning. But let us do a quick debrief of each of the teams, the work that we did, and this work, whatever you did, is going to be available for your access, and you want to read as a reference, we'll make sure it is available with you in some time. But let me share my screen and figure out what did we do. Is this the one? Yeah, okay. Oh. Great. So some of the questions here. So, I mean, this is not an exhaustive list, we all understand. And then on PremierAgile website, we're going to put up some, actually like about 40-50 questions on Scrum Master interviews by the end of this month. And we are working with the website development team to get them live, and it's going to happen by end of this month. If anyone is interested, please be tuned to our website releases that we happen every month, right? Okay, so let's pick one of the questions. What is the role of a Scrum Master in sprint planning? Excellent. Time boxing, checking with the developers, acceptance criteria discussed, blah, blah, blah. Story sizing. Will you discuss estimation in sprint reviews? Not really.
Actually, estimation will be as part of grooming.
Product backlog grooming.
That's right. So estimation, your acceptance criteria discussions, writing new stories or new product backlog items, modifying existing product backlog items, any of that sort of work, anything on the product backlog should happen during the refinement product backlog refinement. Some people call it grooming. So in that sessions, not in the sprint review. Sprint review, you can take inputs from stakeholders. As a product owner, they would take inputs and then keep on adding. But you don't do estimation in front of stakeholders. For stakeholders,
this
it should not
is
be a
question
worry.
regarding sprint planning, not review. It's a planning.
Sprint planning. Sprint planning. Even for a sprint planning, it's not a very good idea to do estimation. I know a lot of teams are doing it today, but if you ask me what is the best time to do estimation, it is before the sprint planning, which is during your product backlog refinement sessions. If required, do it again. There's nothing wrong in estimating during planning, but that should not be the first time. A big change that a lot of teams have found it valuable is trying to revisit their product backlog refinement. Okay, so trying to revisit how you are doing product backlog refinement sessions. And then a good change is try to do estimation and any other backlog related stuff during refinement sessions. And remember, as a Scrum Master, it is not your accountability to do refinement. It is a product owner's job, not Scrum Master's job. So you should coach your product owner on how to do it. Right. Great. Now let's check a couple of other questions. Okay, number 5 is very, very interesting. What are the metrics that you prepare? As a Scrum Master, if you ask Scrum, there is no single metrics that you are going to create or showcase to people or teams or management. But of course, in a real world implementation, we are all fond of numbers. So we still need certain metrics. So for those who would like to see what are the various metrics that Scrum teams track, you should get onto our website again. And there is a download section where something called as a guide on Agile metrics. So Ishwari can help us with the link here. You can get to that link. There are about 25 metrics that one can track as a Scrum Master, as a product owner, as a developer, as a senior manager, whatever you are, right? So that is a good guidance. Metrics are provided. Some guidance was written by me a couple of years back, so please take advantage of that. Okay. What is the role of a Scrum Master in an everyday Scrum team? Very interesting. Number 4 question. Facilitate, facilitate, facilitate. Removing impediments. Coaching product owners. Coaching Scrum teams. So if anyone is just interested to figure out, actually we had a, okay, Jay, kindly go on mute if you're not speaking.
Sorry.
Okay. So if anyone is interested to understand what is Scrum Master doing on a daily basis, we have a good, very, very good reference reading for you. There are about 42 things, different things that Scrum Master does. Again, Ishwari should help us with the link there. What is the role of a Scrum Master on a daily basis? Or Scrum Master checklist, for that matter, can be shared here, Ishwari. One last question on that topic that I have for all of you, which I'm aligning with the group that has written there, right? How do you motivate your teams?
First is, I would listen to the team first. So that's the biggest motivation for anyone. And then, I would provide any suggestions, not the suggestions, but asking the right questions.
Okay. So listening to the team, asking them the right powerful questions. Okay.
Being transparent with team.
Being empathetic.
Being transparent, showing that empathy towards them. Okay.
So one basic question. So motivate as in what context the motivate you are asking?
It can be anything, right? Motivation is a very, very big subject, right? Motivation can be in any context. Some people are not really motivated to do a specific piece of work, or they are in a conflict and it's like demotivating them. So it can be any context. I mean, as far as work is concerned, we're always talking about the professional work.
Maybe have relating that if it is related to any task, maybe it's related to the complexity or the timeline or whatever it is. So then can have a one-to-one communication to understand their issues and then give some suggestions or what can be done.
Very, very powerful. One-on-one conversations. Building a rapport with the team on that basis, one-on-one basis, is going to be a very, very powerful tool for Scrum Master, because it's not in a group setting. You're a great facilitator. You're trying to bring groups and make decisions helping groups to make decisions. But then that's not the best thing always to do. Having one-on-one is a very, very good thing to do. Before sprint retrospectives, especially, figure out. It's a good idea.
Talking about EMIs and their money.
Sorry?
Talking about money, incentives.
Talking about incentives, I'm actually waiting. Somebody would make such a suggestion.
And reminding about their EMIs.
Remaining about their EMIs, like kind of warning them, hey, if you don't work your EMI, you'll not be able to pay. Is that so? It's a very, very negative tactic.
Yeah.
So it means that apart from their work, only workaholic, we should listen their problems sometimes, their family or day-to-day problems. So at least some guidance, which may or may not help, but at least they'll be happy to know someone there to listen. Sometimes that I seen there is added value to them, right? So it motivates apart from work. It's not to be only the work Scrum Master does beyond that, because we are following in our personal life also trying to do, which can be implemented either ways, right? Yeah.
Very good. Very, very well said. So motivation is not just about money. Of course, money is important for all of us, no doubt about that. But people look something beyond. Somebody who can listen, somebody who can give an idea, give a suggestion, somebody who can empower people to decide, right? So gone are the days where one person is making decisions and everyone is following that decision. It's all about teams empowerment. So you empower people so that they come up with brilliant suggestions. You never know. There is the most junior team member in the room has the most brilliant suggestion. You never know. As long as you are open for such feedback and letting people make the decisions, and you help them make better decisions, I think that's a much more empowered environment rather than a command and control environment. Right? Somebody said a servant leader. A servant leader works on people empowerment rather than trying to drive things on a one-way basis. Right? So, of course, motivation is a big human resources department subject. And,
Suresh, but how to empower? Sorry, Vishnu, how to empower people?
How do you empower people? So you got to take a step back at time. Jay, we heard your question. I'm sorry, I have to mute you because there is some background noise. But the question is how to empower people. Empowering people is helping them decide and not me deciding. So I know the answer, I know the solution, but I would rather ask my team to see what is their solution, and their solution is probably better. And I go with the mindset that my team has a better solution than mine. Right? And for that, it's not you who has to transform, it is also the organizational culture that has to change. Right? Whatever we are talking in this session is, I'm not saying they're easy, but they are being done by several organizations today. So if some organizations have tried and being successful, why not us? Maybe we should also try something new. Right? So a Scrum Masters, one of the biggest responsibilities is trying to provide a safe environment. Thanks to whoever has said that, use that term that we have written on the chart. A safe environment is where people are not being judged. As a Scrum Master, it's your job to provide such an environment. The moment you start judging, the moment somebody else starts judging, people will stop communicating. And then you don't have any innovation, no ideas. It's just following some steps and they will get the job done, and that is done. So providing safe environment where people are being accepted as they are, respected as they are. I think that environmental, job is also for the Scrum Master to provide, which means you're also relentlessly working with the senior management, the organization, the cultural environment, and not just conducting events all the time. So Scrum Master's job goes beyond the Scrum Guide. It's not just about facilitating and sending out meeting invites and looking at the watch and say, hey, your time box of 2 hours is over. Huh? That's not the only job that as a Scrum Master you should be doing.
So one more thing. So as you said, so Scrum Master, taking care of team and all this kind of thing. So this Scrum Master will have to do these activities along with, manager it's also manager's responsibility to look after the team and take care of the team. But then the Scrum Master have some limitations on that front if we compare with manager, because I mean, discussing about salary or what such kind of things can't be done by a Scrum Master. It's not in their hands.
I agree. So you're not the person who is deciding the salary aspect, but you have to let people know that there is a problem. So you are the person who is removing impediments. Doesn't mean you are increasing the salaries or you are giving the access or anything like that, right? So, but you are the one who's like a mirror to the whole organization. A mirror is something which will tell you what the problem is. It may not solve what the problem is. The organization still has to solve the problem. A Scrum Master is like a mirror to the whole organization. You see, and that mindset will eventually come, but with a lot of practice. It will not happen overnight. Okay, so we'll move away from this. As I said, we will use these snippets of information on the slides as a reference. But let us get to the second one, 5 minutes each on the rest of the two. Now, how to get a Scrum Master experience without the actual job? And I mean, these are like very, very good suggestions. Learning certifications, okay, definitely there. Work experience, relating your previous work experience, definitely there. Enable Agile mindset is definitely there. I mean, you can always read these lines. I wanted to add something more, which I have done in my personal life. When I did my CSM, I never had Scrum Master experience. But then what did I do? I had to go literally out and then talk to people, not in my organization, but outside as a part-time, not for salary, but more as a passion. I had gone out to one of these startup hubs in Hyderabad. I have approached to the leaders, the CEOs of those small organizations, and I told them that, hey, you know what? I know Scrum. I don't have experience, but I'm going to help you with some of these aspects because I'm working with an organization who has a lot of experience. So I had gone out all the way, maybe evenings and weekends. I spent several hours working with these small organizations, trying to apply Scrum in their organization. This is purely out of passion, purely out of an intent to learn, not an intent to earn money, right? Because not everything is something that you will be paid for. But if you have the intent, if you have the real interest, this is a very, very good place to go. And you will figure out some hubs in your city, maybe your friends, your references, figure out somebody who is implementing Scrum, if not in your organization, somewhere outside, and piggyback along with those people. Work with an existing Scrum Master. Ask for mentorship in your organization if there is a senior Scrum Master, right? Or try to implement Scrum at home. I hope all of you know that Scrum is something which can be implemented anywhere as long as the problem is complex and not clearly known today. There are several such problems at home, at office, in different organizations. So try to figure out an avenue for that. And then maybe form a small team of people, like 3-4 people from different backgrounds, and see how you can implement Scrum. There are several ways on how you can gather that experience. I mean, at least you will get to understand how Scrum framework is helpful to deal with real life problems. I mean, I'm talking about a real story that happened with me. I'm not just saying just because I have to give something here. It worked for me, but it took a big deal of efforts, a lot of, time that I need to take off from my own weekends or evenings. So as long as you have such kind of a passion to learn, why not? Right. So that is something one should definitely look at. And I have, again, Ishwari here probably to share something more. There is one thing that I have written as a blog a couple of years back, which says CSM done. Okay, CSPO done. What next? That is something you should definitely read. There are several suggestions on how you can get a Scrum Master experience without a real Scrum Master job. And by the way, at this moment, I also wanted to quote something else. Some of you would be knowing this. We have a wealth of case studies on our website, which anyone can access, where Agile or Scrum is implemented outside the IT context, outside the software world. So if somebody is here from a non-IT world and you are trying to become a Scrum Master, this should definitely encourage you. So there are about 100 case studies on our website. Please visit the URL that Ishwari would provide, and she just did. So please bookmark that page and go through that. There are like brilliant examples. Somebody said how to get a job using Scrum. No, it's not about how to get a Scrum Master job, how to change my job using Scrum. How to do marketing using Scrum. How do lawyers use Scrum? How does the governments use Scrum? So there are several non-IT examples. So one should definitely visit that. Okay. Okay, so we'll move on to the last topic here, which is again a brilliant list of resources compiled by the teams. So we have 3 categories here: books and live experiences and online sources and events. I think very, very good Scrum Guide and Scrum Insights. Okay, Lisa Crispin's Agile Testing book is here. Very, very good. Whoever has suggested, thank you so much for that. And there is one more book I would like to suggest, Succeeding with Agile by Mike Cohn. Okay, so Ishwari, if you can add that on the slide itself directly at the list of books, please. And this is a wonderful book on how you can start your Agile journey. After reading the Scrum Guide, maybe that is what you should read, right? Okay, live experiences, great. But the events which we were just discussing about, PremierAgile, PremierWednesday, study groups, career talks. I heard this is doing very, very well. So you should join that watch the career talks on YouTube, attending workshops, and more importantly, Scrum Alliance conferences. The Scrum Alliance conferences are great ways to connect with like-minded people. They conduct global conferences twice in a year, one in US, one in Europe. And they conduct several regional conferences across the globe. For example, I conducted a Scrum Alliance regional conference in July this year. And then we will probably do one next year. So these are all online or live sessions. So you should join them, because I have been going to conferences for the last 12 years. Sometimes participate, sometimes volunteer, sometimes speak, learn, network, share your experiences. And that is a very, 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 very good way to learn. So please don't miss some of these events. Okay, some are free, some are paid, and they will be very, very valuable. And if somebody is in Europe right now, maybe you should think about going for the conference by Scrum Alliance in October in Lisbon, Portugal. Or if you're in the United States, you should consider attending a global gathering in US next year, May. You'll have like thousands of people walking around with a lot of information, and you will find it very, very useful. So don't miss, use your Scrum Alliance website, your membership to the core, because Scrum Alliance has created a wealth of resources, a lot of blogs, a lot of articles, some videos, and a lot of learning resources out there. So keep browsing on scrumalliance.org as well. And recently there is a Scrum Master checklist that was put on the Scrum Alliance website. It's a Scrum Master personal improvement tool. So you should check it out on how it is. It will give you a checklist of things on what you are doing right and where you can improve. And I got very, very good feedback on that tool. So thanks to Scrum Alliance, you should actually explore that. Right. Perfect. So let's do, I know this session is very, very tight. We have a lot of information out there, but remember, anything will start only with your commitment. You should pull information rather than anyone pushing information onto you, right? But we'll take a few minutes. Any questions? So if you have a question, please raise your hand. We will probably do not many, but because we're also running out of time and we'll need a few more minutes to close the session in another 11 minutes. But Avinash, your question, please.
Yeah, I have only 2 questions, Suresh, in the interest of the time. The first question is, nowadays I see a lot of job descriptions for Scrum Master. They ask for the technical expertise, but how to overcome that one? That is my first question. And second question is that every company has their own style of Agile and Scrum. So how to overcome? Suppose if I'm saying that my planning goes in this way, but the company says, no, we follow in this way. So how to overcome these kind of questions, and then what is a better way to answer these things?
Okay, so for your first question, should a Scrum Master be technical? Not really. I mean, will a Scrum Master's technical skills help? Oh, definitely. Having technical skills will definitely help you, but it is not really a mandatory skill. And I was narrating that real story, right? Somebody from a BPO background has become a Scrum Master in an IT organization, and not really. And it's already like more than 6 months, and she's surviving, right? So I don't think technical skills are an impediment to become a great Scrum Master. But what are the other skills you should have as a Scrum Master? Obviously, a lot of people skills, negotiation skills, a great communicator, trying to understand the organization's overall big picture, and not trying to see that, if a problem has occurred, you should also try to understand if there is a human resources policy which has triggered the problem, or some infrastructure access which has triggered the problem. So you should have that end-to-end thinking of the organization rather than only trying to think about that one problem in a silo mode. And for the second question, you asked if the organization is doing in a definite manner, maybe there is a value in that. Maybe there is no. So you'll have to quickly do your own comparison and then figure out how you can imbibe that practice into your way of working, or how you can imbibe your practice into an organization's way of working. If the organization says, hey, I have this process 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we are doing Scrum, I will say, sorry, this is not Scrum. And that's where we said courage and openness discussion. So there is always, somebody in the organization who's trying to figure out these things and trying to arrive at more and more better recommendations. Maybe a champion in your organization, an agile champion. Maybe you should talk to them, figure out if this is really worth practicing, or is it something better you should do it, right? So organizational cultural transformation will happen over a period of time, and this is not going to happen overnight for sure, right? But as a Scrum Master, you keep trying. But this one worked for me, trying to figure out who is the champion in the organization for that agile change. Talk to them. It's not easy to get to them, I can understand that, but figure out if you can talk to them and see if you can bring out such a problem and say, hey, my team says we need to follow this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but this doesn't work this way, and see how you can influence at a higher team level or an organization level. It will take time, but it will work for you for sure.
Yeah, thanks, Suresh.
Right.
Thanks, Suresh. Does Jacob have a question?
Hey,
Yeah,
Jacob,
I have a question.
just a second, I'll answer that. But there is a question for me, one-on-one, that you said you will tell us what is the technique we use to collect all this information. Vidhi, thank you for reminding me. The technique that we have used so far in the breakout rooms, which Scrum Master should. Yes. Sorry, what is that?
Elicitation technique.
No, the elicitation is a general name, but the technique that we have used is called World Cafe. World Cafe is a round-robin group brainstorming technique, wherein you define a problem statement, you give it to a group of people. I mean, in this, we had bigger groups, but we can do smaller groups, 5 people, 10 people also, and then keep rotating them. And then the incoming team will also add some more input, so that the entire group is actually brainstorming that problem statement. Depending on the time, you should divide the time slots. As a Scrum Master, you can use this. And if you have if you want to understand more techniques, there are obviously several resources. As a Scrum Master, you should figure out how is the best way to engage and facilitate my people. Otherwise, it's always going to be one-way conversations, and nobody is going to listen to it.
One question I have. So the technique you said, World Cafe.
Yes. So go ahead, and then next question will go with Jacob. Yeah.
Okay. So you said the World Cafe technique which you use for round robin thing, but one team will do one activity and then it will be given to another team to add some more points. So what the benefit will get from that?
The benefit is, rather than working in a group of 25 people, you are having a smaller group conversation. Instead of having a group of 90 people in our main session, we are eliciting ideas from a smaller group of, say, 30 people. And when you rotate them, the other 30 are also adding to the ideas.
Okay.
Right? So that way you are trying to get ideas from everyone in the group, rather than doing a big bang, like a big fair ideas. We are doing in smaller fairs so that it is easier to extract ideas and also have participation. Right? And on those lines, the raising hand technique, if any of you Scrum Masters have used it, There is a name for that in one of the Scrum Master facilitation techniques called going in a round robin fashion, and that is called stacking. Okay, you're actually going one after the other. That's what it is. Okay. Anyways, we have a few more minutes. Jacob, your question, please.
Yeah, the first question is, as a Scrum Master, I'm not in a org level decision making where things are taken on in a very high level where where things are decided. Basically, what I mean by saying is, I have only visibility to the immediate product owner who drives the sprint and who manages the sprint. I don't have in an organization as a level where you talk about JCP migration activity and all those things, right? So what's happening is that if there is a problem where how did they move to JCP? Whom did he ask? This, and it boils down to the kind of a leaf level where what did it do for the QA environment to go to test and then go to production? All those things at a management level where things are really planned in a very high level. That granular information is like missing as a Scrum Master. So what do I, as an organization level, how do I promote transparency right till the bottom of the leaf? I mean the tree structure. So
Understood. Did you ask this question in your organization? Did you ask your manager? Did
yes,
the manager ask their manager?
Yeah, I asked the VP. He's also confused.
Yeah.
So I'll share one incident which has happened.
No, Jacob, sorry, we can't get to that because we have only a few minutes. Sorry about that. Now, I will relate this to the Agile champion that I was talking about. Okay. Every department, every team, every organization will have that one sponsor or a champion who is trying to drive this change in the organization. Otherwise, these things on the ground are not happening just like that. There is somebody who is driving it, and you need to get hold of that person. It could be the CEO or a CIO or a vice president or a senior vice president. But you need to navigate in your organization, which is again not easy. But then you need to navigate at a level, to an extent where you are able to get to that person. It can be a customer sometimes, it can be a product owner, it can be a sales department vice president. Somebody is sponsoring for this change. Okay. You need to get hold of that person.
Even though it's been failed. It will fail. You will find failure. You will find disappointment. No doubt. Okay.
But keep trying. I mean, you will get there. One day, it might take a few months, few weeks, few days, depending on the organization size.
Okay.
But you will get there. And then the moment you're actually trying to do something, maybe people will find you at times. It can happen the other way around also, right? So these things are not the first time you are facing a problem. These problems were faced and were solved before.
Okay.
We're just trying to reinvent.
My next question is, what's my career path after 18 years of 19 years experience? After 19 years experience as a developer, moving to a manager, then moving to a Scrum Master role, then where next can I look myself going to? Because everything is like
you are transforming the organization. Right? So Scrum Master is working with one or two teams. But with 18 years, are you working with only two teams? Maybe no. You are working with a big number of teams, or you're working with a larger department, or you're working with the entire organization.
Right.
So you're like a Scrum Master, then a senior Scrum Master, then probably coaching the whole organization. So a transformation consultant. So there is a very, very good path that has evolved over the years for Scrum Master, right? So, I mean, again, Ishwari can help with some information there. So there is some literature we have written for that, and you can go through that and come back to us if you have any questions on that.
Sure, thank you.
A career path of a Scrum Master is what we have a blog written. Right. Okay, so unfortunately we are running out of time, folks. I know there are a lot of interesting questions, a lot of experiences, very, very rich experience in this group, and I'm sure that itself is helping all of us to learn collectively. But unfortunately, we have to close the session, which is about 9 o'clock India time. But kindly hold on for 5 more minutes for our sake. Session as it is completed. And there are some questions on the chat, how to measure Agile team performance. I've already talked about the metrics. So you should use your metrics to track and anything on the performance of your Agile teams. Vijay, hopefully that will answer your question. And as a Premier Wednesday, as a platform, hopefully this was helpful, not in its entirety for information, but at least you had some triggering thoughts, something where you can, start thinking in that direction, right? And you have spent 2 hours trying to understand more about Scrum Masters. You are eligible to get 2 free Scrum education units, and Ishwari can help us to understand how to add those units on our Scrum Alliance dashboard. So there you go. So she has given that link. You can just go through that step by step. And remember, as I said, this is only scratching the surface, and the real commitment and real pull of information should happen from your side, reading some of these N number of resources available out there. And then we conduct these events at least once a month. And we have a career crafting event coming up in October. So hopefully you can register for that. So Ishwari, please share the link for that event as well. And you can always register for these events as many number of times as you want to. But I have one request on behalf of all my team members here. So I have a leanest possible team in the world who are trying to make these things happen, move things in a very, very positive manner. And we help people and organizations transform as much as possible, not just through certifications, but also through various means like this. So one request from all of us is, if anyone can say a few words about the event or PremierAgile or the team or anything more, more positive reinforcement or any feedback that you want to give in the form of a little video here, just raise your hand if you want to give us feedback on the event or anything of that sort, right? And we will continue the video recording, and by the end of it, we'll be done with the event. And I hope all of you will have a great evening. So please raise your hands if you are open to give us feedback, because we are open to hear your feedback. And Hari says, please copy the chat content in an email, and we'll ensure you get all the links. We'll ensure you get all the chat content. We'll ensure we get all those beautiful slides that were created by you in the breakout rooms. And we'll ensure we get the event recording as well on our YouTube channel quickly. Yeah. Okay, Aruna, thank you for raising your hand. Anyone else who don't mind spending 2 additional minutes to give us feedback? Okay, so I have at least 2 team members here, Aruna and Nitesh. So thank you so much. So what we'll do is I will make Aruna to start with as just trying to see what I can do here. I'm trying to put you on a spotlight so that you are visible on the bigger screen. I can't do that. Okay. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. This workshop was very good, and I have attended this workshop after a couple of months break. I have taken up CSM. It was good in the sense that all the answers were elicited from the group itself. We had our own ideas. So you kind of coached us into how to land a job, how to, leverage your resources, what are the kind of opportunities. So it was a fun way to learn things from the bigger, larger group. And the session also answered some of the nice things, like what is a good book, what are the must-dos in case of, continuous learning. That was very, very important. And fun ideas came up with respect to how to look for a new job when you don't have experience at all. It is a very good treasure to have. So I continue to look forward for sessions from PremierAgile. I really enjoy the way that how you handle the class. Thank you so much, Suresh.
Thank you so much, Aruna, for saying that. It's indeed a pleasure, to have you as well in the class as well as here. So thanks for all the experience you have shared with us.
Thank you.
Great. We'll go with
I like the this webinar specifically, and I have done the Scrum Master certification from Suresh in the month of May, and after I am handling the team as a Scrum Master. But still, I find this session also important because I mean, in the last session also, for having a Scrum Master certification in this session also, you made sure that you are definitely a Scrum Master by taking out answers from ourselves only, and making sure that, I mean, following the Scrum practices in even your trainings, making team accountable for and making them independent, and taking out the things from their themselves only. I mean, asking questions to people. I mean, let's say I know one book name, or I know some of the activities which are helpful for me to make be a good Scrum Master, and some other persons or people might be knowing some other things. So getting out the things from each of the people and sharing it everyone, and making them real Scrum Master, and that is how it should be. And one more good technique, or is what you followed, is instead of having PPTs, let's engage each and everyone and get, I mean, answer your own questions from your own selves. So that is the best thing I learned from you, and how to keep people engaging in any of the sessions, whatever you had till now, and I attended. And I'll definitely make sure that I'll going ahead, I'll try to attend the Premier Wednesdays, and at least the learning shorts which you have shared. So those will definitely help me, and thank you for that.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you, Nitesh, so much for saying this. All the resources and the shorts definitely are going to be helpful. Hopefully, it will help you as well in your career. Thank you so much. Wishing you all the best.
Thank you.
Joined Agile Premier family like August 1st week, right? So when we took the PO Scrum Alliance PO session, and that was like first time I attended a session like where there was no PPT, like it was minus PPT session, and it was quite interactive, and everybody on the call on the training, right, enjoyed it, and it was worth having it, right? And in most of the trainings, what we feel like, okay, once you attend the training, complete your certification, then bye tata, right? But here it is not like that. Like the connection has been created, and the bond is growing day by day, right? And Premier Wednesday is always I try to join it, right? Like I joined like the last 2-3 sessions. I missed one also and didn't put calendar. Sometimes it becomes difficult because it is in the office hour, and getting calendar free is little bit tough. But yeah, we attend it, and it gives us the different perspective, right? Because we are having people who are in that role, or above in that role, or below that, right? The various Scrum role is there, right? So getting the perspective of everyone in person, it helps us to correct our way how we are implementing or following the Agile framework. Because if people are not listening to the others, they always assume, okay, what I'm doing, I'm correct. But when we listen to the other, right, we get the other perspective also. And definitely a lot of resources are there, and yeah, sometimes we go through that, and it really helps. Yeah.
Sure. Thank you, Samarendra, for coming back to this session, and all the other Premier Wednesday sessions as well. Thank you for your feedback. Appreciate a lot. Thank you so much.
Thanks. Yeah. Thanks for all the energy your team gives. Yeah.
Sure. My pleasure.